Overton, I've been thinking a lot lately. It feels like I'm always running around trying to get everything done, but I just don't have the energy or time to focus on what really matters.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes it feels like you're spinning your wheels, right? You're busy. But are you being productive? Or just busy?
Exactly. It's like no matter how hard I try, I end up falling behind. I'm always playing catch up, and it's exhausting. I've been wondering if there's a way to handle everything more effectively.
Well, it sounds like you need something to help you manage all that chaos. Maybe you need a new perspective on how to approach things.
You're right, but I don't even know where to start. I've tried organizing and scheduling, but things still end up out of control.
Have you ever read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? It's a classic. I think it could help you get a grip on everything.
I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it's about. What makes it so effective?
It's about more than just time management. It's about mindset, attitude, and how to approach life. It focuses on developing habits that help you prioritize, take control of your actions, and align your behavior with your long-term goals.
So it's not just a to-do list kind of book, huh?
No, it's much deeper than that. It's about transforming the way you think. It helped me shift from feeling overwhelmed to feeling like I'm in control.
That sounds exactly like what I need. How do you start with something like that?
So there are 7 habits suggested in this book, and I think they can really change the way you approach life. Let's dive into each of them one by one, starting with the first.
7 habits, that's quite a lot. But if they can really make a difference, I'm in. What's the first habit all about?
The first habit is being proactive. It's about taking responsibility for your actions and responses, rather than letting external circumstances control how you feel. When you're proactive, you focus on what you can control and take initiative.
So, instead of waiting for problems to get worse, you step in and take action right away?
Exactly. Here's a real-life example. Let's say you're working on a project with a tight deadline, and you see that a team member is falling behind. Instead of waiting for the situation to worsen and affecting the whole team, a proactive person would step in early. They might offer help, ask if the team member needs support, or even find a solution together. By taking action before things get out of hand, you avoid unnecessary stress and setbacks.
So it's about anticipating issues and addressing them before they turn into big problems. I can see how that would save a lot of time and energy.
Exactly. Another example could be in personal life. Let's say you're feeling a bit off. Maybe you're stressed or overwhelmed. A proactive approach would be to recognize that early and take steps to manage it, like practicing mindfulness, talking to someone you trust, or even taking a break. By addressing it early on, you prevent it from escalating into something bigger, like burnout or anxiety.
I get it now. Instead of waiting for stress or problems to hit hard, I can take action early to keep things under control.
Right. The idea is to not let external factors dictate how you respond. You take control and act in a way that helps you stay on top of things, rather than reacting when things get out of hand.
So, being proactive is really about being ahead of the curve and handling things before they get worse. That's powerful.
The second habit is about beginning with the end in mind. This means you focus on your goals and vision, right from the start. Instead of just going through the motions, you define what you want to achieve and work backwards from there.
So it's about knowing exactly where you want to go before you start the journey, right?
Exactly. Think about it this way. Imagine you're planning a trip. If you don't have a clear destination in mind, you might end up wandering aimlessly. But when you have a clear destination, you can plan your route, prepare for challenges, and stay focused on getting there.
That makes sense. Can you give me an example of how that would work in real life?
Sure. Think about getting fit. Instead of just saying, I want to lose weight or I want to be healthier, you define exactly what you want to achieve, like, I'm going to run a 5K in 3 months. With that goal locked in, you have a roadmap. You can create a workout plan, schedule regular runs, make adjustments to your eating habits, and monitor your progress over time. The clear picture of the 5K in your mind helps you make decisions and stay on track every day. Everything you do becomes intentional, and every action gets you closer to that goal.
So it's not just about having any goal, but about being clear and specific about what you want to accomplish.
Exactly. And this applies to both big and small goals. Let's take another example. Imagine you're working on a project at work. Instead of diving in without a clear idea of what success looks like, you define what a successful outcome would be. Maybe it's delivering the project on time, meeting all the requirements, or even exceeding client expectations. Once you know your end goal, you can make decisions along the way that align with that vision.
It sounds like it would give me more direction and purpose. I wouldn't just be working without knowing if I'm on the right track.
Exactly. It's about making sure every action you take moves you closer to your desired outcome. This habit helps you stay focused, even when obstacles arise, because you've already visualized your end goal.
That's powerful. It's not just about setting goals. It's about defining them clearly so you can make decisions that align with your vision.
The third habit is all about prioritizing what matters most and making sure you're doing the right things at the right time. It's called put first things first. This habit is about time management, but it's also about making sure you focus your energy on what's truly important, not just what's urgent.
So it's not just about handling all the little tasks, but about choosing the most important ones to tackle first?
Exactly. It's about identifying the tasks that align with your long-term goals and values and focusing on those, rather than letting distractions or urgent but less important tasks take over your time.
Can you give me an example to make this clearer?
Sure. Let's say you have a big project at work that's due in a week. If you spend all your time on small tasks that are not related to that project, like answering emails or reorganizing your desk, you might feel busy, but you won't be making any progress toward finishing the project. What you should be doing is putting the project first, dedicating focused time to working on it and blocking out distractions. It's about focusing on the most important things first and leaving the smaller, less critical tasks for later.
So, you prioritize the things that will bring you closer to your bigger goal rather than letting the less important tasks eat up your time.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with how you spend your time. Think about it like this. If you had a jar and needed to fit in both big rocks and small pebbles, you would put the big rocks in first. Because if you put the small pebbles in first, there won't be enough room for the big rocks. The same principle applies to your daily tasks. The most important things, your big rocks, should come first.
I like that analogy. It makes it clear that you can't just let everything crowd your schedule. You have to consciously decide what's most important and prioritize that.
Exactly. And here's another example. Imagine you're working on personal development, like learning a new skill. If you always let small, unimportant things distract you, like watching TV or scrolling through social media, you'll never make progress. But if you put the important things first, like dedicating an hour a day to learning that skill, you'll start seeing real improvement over time.
So it's about creating a system where your priorities are clear and you give your energy to those first, rather than letting everything else take over.
Exactly. The key is understanding what truly matters and making sure that's where your focus goes. When you put first things first, you're actively building a life that's aligned with your goals. The fourth habit is about creating mutually beneficial relationships, and it's called Think Win-Win. This habit is about approaching every situation with the mindset that both parties can benefit. It's not about one person winning at the expense of the other, but finding a solution that works for everyone involved.
So it's about creating situations where both sides get something positive out of it, right?
Exactly. It's not about a zero-sum game. When you think win-win, you're looking for outcomes where both people can feel good about the result, whether it's in your personal life, at work, or even in negotiations.
I get it, but how do you apply this in real life?
Let's take a work example. Imagine you and a colleague are both working on a project, and there's limited time and resources. Instead of thinking, I need this project to succeed at all costs, even if it means stepping over my colleague, you approach it by thinking, how can we collaborate so both of us succeed, and the project is a success? You're looking for ways to combine strengths, share resources, and make sure both of you are satisfied with the outcome.
So it's about collaboration and creating solutions that benefit everyone involved, rather than competing against each other.
Exactly. Think about a personal relationship. Maybe you and a friend want to plan a trip together. Instead of thinking, I want to go to the mountains, but they want to go to the beach, You talk it out and find a destination that both of you will enjoy, or maybe even plan a combination of both. It's about finding common ground.
Ah, so you're focusing on solutions, not just focusing on individual needs.
Right. And when you think win-win, you're building trust and strengthening relationships, because both parties feel respected and valued. It's a mindset that shifts from competition to collaboration. The fifth habit is a powerful one, and it's called seek first to understand, then to be understood. It's about communication, but it's not just about speaking. It's about really listening to the other person first, before you even think about sharing your own thoughts.
So it's about listening more than talking, right?
Exactly. Most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. But when you truly listen, when you try to understand the other person's perspective first, that's when communication becomes effective. It's about putting yourself in the other person's shoes.
That makes sense, but how do you apply this habit in day-to-day life?
Let me give you an example. Think about a disagreement you might have with someone, say a friend or a colleague. Instead of jumping in with your own opinion right away, you take the time to really hear what the other person is saying. You listen to their feelings, their concerns, their needs, and only once you've understood them, do you offer your own thoughts or solutions. This builds trust because the other person feels heard and respected.
So it's about being genuinely curious about the other person's point of view?
Exactly. And when you do that, it changes the whole dynamic of the conversation. It shifts from a defensive, reactive interaction to a more open, cooperative one. You're no longer just focused on proving your point, you're focused on finding mutual understanding.
Yeah, I can see how that would lead to better connections and less conflict. People just want to feel like they've been heard.
That's right. And once you've understood the other person, then you can share your perspective in a way that is more likely to be received positively, because you've already built that foundation of trust. The sixth habit is synergize. It's all about teamwork, but not just any teamwork. It's about creating something far greater than what any of you could do alone. It's about finding that sweet spot where collaboration leads to new, better outcomes.
So it's like when you put a team together, the combined efforts make a bigger impact than if everyone worked separately.
Exactly. But it's not just about having a team. It's about how well the team functions. When you have people with different skills, ideas, and perspectives, the synergy comes from combining those differences in a way that creates a solution or outcome no one person could have achieved alone.
And that sounds like teamwork on a whole new level. Can you give me an example of how that might look in real life?
Sure. Let's say you're working on a big event, like planning a community festival. One person might be great at handling logistics, another might have amazing creative ideas for marketing, and someone else might be fantastic at managing finances. Instead of everyone doing their own thing in isolation, they all work together, contributing their unique skills. This kind of teamwork creates something bigger than just adding up each person's contribution. It creates innovation and efficiency.
So it's not just about people working together, it's about using their different strengths to create something that couldn't have been done without the combination of those talents?
Exactly. And it's not just about the obvious skills. It's about blending different viewpoints, personalities, and approaches. You might have two people with completely different ways of thinking about a problem, but when they work together, the result is a solution that neither would have come up with alone.
So it's almost like magic happens when people who think differently come together. Instead of having conflicts, they find a way to complement each other.
That's right. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. By respecting and valuing diversity, whether it's skills, opinions, or perspectives, you can unlock potential you never thought was possible. It's what makes teamwork not just functional, but truly exceptional.
Wow, I can really see how this could apply to so many areas. Work, personal projects, even relationships.
Exactly. When you learn to synergize, you open the door to endless possibilities. It's all about creating new, innovative solutions through collaboration. The seventh habit is sharpen the saw. It's all about renewal, taking care of yourself so you can keep giving your best, day in and day out. It's not just about working harder, but about working smarter, by ensuring you're constantly improving and recharging.
So, You're saying we need to take time to take care of ourselves so we can perform better?
Exactly. Think about it like this. Imagine you're using a saw to cut through wood. If the saw is dull, no matter how much effort you put into it, you're not going to get the job done as effectively. You need to sharpen that saw, recharge yourself, so you can cut through everything in your life with ease.
So if we don't take care of ourselves, whether it's our body, mind, or spirit, we'll get worn out and be less effective in what we do?
Exactly. It's about balance. You need to invest time in all areas of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When you neglect one area, the whole system suffers. It's about keeping all parts of you sharp so you can handle life's challenges without burning out.
So, if I'm only focusing on work and ignoring my health or relationships, eventually I'll wear myself down and start losing my edge.
Exactly. But when you take time for physical health, exercise, eating right, and getting enough rest, you're building the energy you need to take on everything else. Mentally, learning new things, challenging yourself, and having time for creativity keeps your mind sharp. Emotionally, nurturing your relationships, practicing self-care, and managing stress ensures that you stay resilient. Spiritually, connecting with something greater, whether it's meditation or nature, helps you stay grounded.
So it's not just about taking breaks when you're exhausted, but consistently carving out time to recharge in all those areas, so you stay sharp and focused.
Exactly. When you make self-renewal a regular habit, you avoid burnout and become more efficient, healthier, and happier. The key is consistency and balance in all areas of your life. Just like a saw that's constantly sharpened stays effective, you will stay effective too.
I see now. It's about creating a habit of self-care so you can keep giving your best without exhausting yourself. You have to stay in peak form to keep achieving.
Exactly. When you make the time to sharpen the saw, you'll find that everything you do becomes easier and more effective.
We've just covered some really powerful habits that can totally change the way you approach life. From being proactive and setting clear goals to maintaining a balance in all areas of your life, these habits aren't just about success. They're about creating lasting, positive change in how we live and work.
That's right. Each habit builds on the other, creating a solid foundation for personal and professional growth. If you want to take control of your life, improve your productivity, and stay sharp, these habits are essential.
Honestly, I've learned a lot today. I can already feel how these habits can help me focus more on what really matters and not just get caught up in the chaos.
I'm glad to hear that. The best part is it's all about starting small and being consistent. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just begin with one habit and you'll see the difference. So if you're serious about making real, lasting changes in your life, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is a game changer. It's not just a book. It's a roadmap to taking control of your actions, shaping your mindset, and reaching your goals. These habits will help you focus on what truly matters and create the momentum you need for success, both personally and professionally. Remember, these habits aren't about perfection, they're about progress. Start small, be consistent, and you'll see the difference in how you approach challenges. The path to becoming your most effective self is in your hands. So, if you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how you've applied these habits in your own life, or if you're planning to start. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, keep growing, keep evolving, and always make time to sharpen your saw. See you next time.
Subscribe for more content.